I've been helping businesses of all sizes and in diverse industries to achieve their most difficult goals and projects for over 3 decades. And if I had to choose one thing that holds most entrepreneurs and business owners back from achieving the full potential of their business, it's lack of clarity. I've identified 8 areas where clarity is critical to the success of your business. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what they are and the action steps that you can take that will quickly enable you to gain focus in these areas that most impact your growth and performance. If you don't have the time right now to work through all 8 areas, then download the Prepare to Succeed assessment in the description. This assessment will help you to identify your key strengths and gaps in these 8 areas, plus other foundational areas that might be slowing you down from achieving your goals. And if you scored 10 out of 10 on all 8 of these areas, and your business is guaranteed to be more successful. I'm also going to share with you in this video my top tip that will double or treble the effectiveness of your actions in all these areas. Okay, I've got my notes in front of me. Let's run through this. I've put business vision and long-term goals first because not only does it provide a roadmap for achieving your goals, but it drives decision-making in so many other areas. And the clarity here is going to give you long-term consistency. So you're not, constantly chopping and changing. With my clients, I'm very often coaching them to keep moving forward and figure things out as they go. I put a lot of emphasis on being agile and taking consistent action. But this is the one area where I actually advise slowing down. Taking a little bit of extra time for clarification here will pay dividends all the way down the line. It's like trying to complete a jigsaw with a pile of pieces but no picture. So a clear vision for your business and for yourself and what it looks like when it's done gives you that picture and becomes your guide or your compass. It tells you where you're going and why it matters. When you're unclear on your long-term direction, it's far too easy to become tactical, say yes to the wrong projects, follow trends that aren't serving you, or just burn out chasing a goal that isn't even that important to you. So I teach a number of different methods on this, but you can start with a simple 3-year vision exercise. So answer these questions. Right? In 3 years, what kind of business are you building? What does success look like? What income are you earning? Who are your clients? And what's your typical day look like? And what support or team members do you have? And what are you known for? What's your reputation? What's your impact on the world? And then when you've done that, summarize your answers into a succinct mission statement. Here's an example from Natalie, who's a client I worked with recently who was building a business as a marketing social media coach. So her mission statement, after we'd done this exercise, is in 3 years, I want to be running a 500K business, working no more than 30 hours per week, offering a signature group coaching program for service providers who want to grow on Instagram without paid ads. I'll also have a podcast, a small team, and speak at a couple of major events per year. The next area where you must have a high degree of clarity is defining the profile of your ideal customer or client or avatar. In order to design offers and messaging and operations that resonate and convert, you must be crystal clear on who you're trying to help. Not just anyone who needs what you offer, but a really well-defined, specific, ideal customer. So without this, your marketing becomes generic. You often miss the mark. Your message gets ignored and you'll end up attracting the wrong clients, which can lead to price sensitivity and poor retention. And although this seems obvious, it can actually be quite difficult. So it helps to have a process for doing it. And ideally, work with a mentor or a peer that you can bounce ideas off of and keep refining the profile of your ideal customer. The tool that we use for this is called a snapshot worksheet. And here's how to use it. So Define a single specific avatar using 6 key filters, right? There's the demographics, which are the basics like age and gender and location and job business type. The psychographics, so their beliefs and values and social status and interests and their personality. Their behavior, their purchasing history, their website activity, their engagement with marketing materials, their pain points. What keeps them up at night? What challenges are they facing? Well, what frustrates them? Yeah? And what areas do they need help? And what are their goals and aspirations? What's your ideal customer hoping to achieve? What's their priorities? What drives their decisions? What drives their buying? What motivates them to take action? Snapshots like this enable a deeper understanding of your customers. That's going to lead to more effective strategies, better customer service, increased sales, improved communication. For my marketing coach client, here's an example of the output. So our ideal client is a female service-based entrepreneur aged 30 to 45, established but struggling to grow online. Our client wants to build a personal brand and attract clients through Instagram and values authenticity over gimmicks. Having this level of clarity helps Natalie to target her prospects with offers and marketing messages that really resonate with them. And of course, they're more likely to buy as a result. And that leads us to number 3, which is defining your core value proposition, your offer, in other words. Right? Once you know where you're going and who you're serving, you can clearly articulate why your business matters to them. What do you want to help people do? What do you help people become or achieve that's better than anyone else? Yeah? What results and transformation do you help your clients to achieve? You need to be super clear on why someone should buy from you. What's your unique edge? If you're fuzzy here, you'll constantly struggle to stand out. And clients or prospects will default to choosing you based on price. Our audience must immediately understand, your audience must immediately understand the unique value you offer and why it matters to them. Otherwise, you're going to blend into the market with everyone else and you'll struggle to differentiate. And as I say, you'll compete on price instead of on value. Now, to do this, I use an exercise called the so what. And very simply, it works like this. Write down your offer and keep asking, so what, until you uncover the real outcome or transformation. So in the example of our marketing coach, that exercise went something like this. I offer social media management. So what? It saves time for the business owner. So what? So then they can focus on client delivery and grow their income. So what? They feel more in control, they feel in control again and confident that their brand is growing. Notice how we move from features, like I offer social media management, to benefits, saving time, to emotional desires, feeling in control and confident. And here's a summary of the resulting value proposition. So I help overwhelmed, service-based entrepreneurs take back control of their time, simplify their content, and grow organically on Instagram without burnout or needing to go viral. My clients gain confidence, consistent leads, and a clear strategy tailored to their voice. Pretty good, right? So, critical clarity area number 4 is your revenue model and your pricing strategy. So with the what and the who and the why much clearer, you can go deeper into designing profitable and scalable offers to serve those customers more effectively. Now, obviously, knowing how your business makes money and how each offer contributes to long-term profitability is essential for confident pricing and sustainable growth and decision-making. But in order to get real clarity, you need to go deeper than that. Revenue clarity isn't just about setting a price. It's about designing a business model that funds your vision. And that means thinking beyond what your offer costs or what others are charging, and instead focusing on customer lifetime value, profitability, and your own boundaries. Without clarity in these areas, You risk undercharging or over-delivering or chasing unprofitable clients, building offers that won't scale. Now, many business owners think that you have to compete on price, when in reality, a pricing strategy should reflect value and sustainability. So here are some exercises that would help to drive more clarity about your revenue model and your pricing strategy. These will work for any business, but they're especially relevant for service-based businesses. And the first method is a simple value ladder, right? Here's how it works. Map out your offer stack by pricing tier and delivery intensity. So the first level might be your entry level, offer a freebie in order to build trust and generate leads. And then you may have a mini course for $7 to $47. And your core product will be a group coaching program. And then your big sell or your premium product is a transformational VIP offer, right? Which is high value with a lot of access. Right? So having it tiered like this helps clarify where the revenue comes from and where to optimize. There's another method I use to clarify revenue and revenue model and pricing strategy, and that's to calculate the customer lifetime value that I referred to earlier. Yeah. So, in case you don't know, lifetime value is the total revenue you can expect from a single customer over the duration of their relationship with your business. And this really matters because it helps you to determine how much you can afford to spend to acquire that customer, your customer acquisition cost. And it also helps because it reframes pricing conversations from, is this too expensive, to how much long-term value can I provide? And that's essential, even if you're just starting. In fact, especially if you're just starting, because it forces you to think deeper about your offers and your pricing. So in the example with Natalie, right, if the group program is just under $1,000 and 30% of her clients upgrade to a $3,500 VIP offer within a year, her average lifetime value might be closer to 2,500 to 2,500, not just 1,000. And that insight helps enormously. Helps you to confidently invest more in marketing and customer acquisition. Dan Kennedy's, he's commonly regarded one of the best marketers of all time. And his frequent saying was that the business that can invest more in marketing or invest more to acquire a customer wins. But when your strategic aim is to provide long-term value for your clients, the average long-term value of your clients will likely increase significantly. So knowing that lifetime value, the LTV, will also help you to design smarter upsells and retention paths. And you'll prioritize recurring or repeat purchase offers. Another exercise that will help you to inform your pricing strategy is to calculate your effective hourly rate. So in the example, right, you're charging $9.97 for a service that takes 20 hours to deliver. Your effective hourly rate is $50 per hour, right? But if that includes 10 hours of preparation and admin afterwards, right, then the true rate is actually quite lower. Now, using a metric like this helps you to identify which of your services are draining time, where you should think about raising prices or rein in the scope, and also what you could automate or delegate or even stop doing. So use these methods, and I guarantee you'll have much greater clarity about your revenue model and your pricing strategy. By the way, if these points are resonating with you, then check out the assessment that I mentioned earlier. It's in the description below. Now, we created this assessment based on proven state-of-the-art strategies that help business owners like you to figure out how to move forward and get more clarity. We call it the Prepare to Succeed assessment, and it's free, by the way. The assessment will help you to identify your key strengths and the gaps in 6 foundational areas. They're often the root causes of slow progress and stress. And as well as diagnosis, you'll also get personalized action steps and suggested next moves. So if that sounds interesting, click on the link, grab the assessment, and spend 5 minutes getting actionable insights that'll move you and your business forward without any overwhelm or stress. Now, the next area I want to talk about, number 5, is strategic priorities. After you've defined your vision and your market and your value and revenue model are clear, then you should focus on your priorities and what you should be doing right now. If you're like many or probably most of my clients, you're watching this video because you're ambitious and you have great plans for your life. And these are great qualities, but they also cause you problems and challenges, in as much as it can lead to burnout and stress. It's very easy to take on too much, get frustrated because you're not making the kind of progress you want as quickly as you would like. You can't do everything at once. That's why clarity around what matters most right now is essential. Without clear priorities, you risk working hard all week and still feeling like you're really not making enough progress. Building a successful business is largely dependent on your ability to consciously and constantly make prioritization decisions. But here's the real key. Effective prioritization isn't just about deciding what to focus on, it's also about deciding what not to do. Trade-offs are natural and they're an essential part of your success. Now, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, at least temporarily. So having clear priorities will ensure that you're working on the right things in the right order for the maximum impact. And without that, it's easy to confuse motion with progress, staying busy on low impact tasks and activities, while maybe some high leverage opportunities are missed. So this is such a key area for success. I use several methods to help my clients decide what matters most to them, what they truly need to focus on. And usually the outcome we're looking for is that they'll focus on their top 1 to 3 goals only, and they'll stop working on all the others. So here's just a couple of exercises that will help. One is backward looking and one is forward looking. The first one is a time and activity audit. I know no one likes doing this, me included, but I guarantee it will be worth it. Just the objective is to identify how your time is currently allocated to different activities. And I suggest you spend a week tracking your activities in 30-minute intervals. And at the end, review and categorize them as essential, valuable, or distraction. And then reflect on whether your current time is in line with your current priorities and your long-term goals. And the outcome is going to be a lot of increased awareness on your part and some time management clues and areas to reallocate your focus. Now, the second method is more forward-looking, and it's a simple exercise. It's an impact versus effort matrix. So if you write down 10 projects or activities you're considering and plot them on a grid, with your x-axis being the effort from low to high, and your y-axis the impact from low to high. Focus on the high impact, low effort tasks first, because that's your quick wins, and then move on to your high impact, high effort, because those are likely to be your strategic actions that give you the best long-term benefits. And completing both of these will give you a good foundation for meaningful, aligned, sustainable progress. In the case of the marketing coach that I'm working with, it looks like this, right? Her top priorities are launching her group program in 60 days, building a new lead magnet funnel, in fact, a few of those, and delegating weekly content creation to a VA. The next area to focus on is your marketing message and your brand voice. Now, you're ready to confidently and consistently communicate with your audience, and you're able to build trust and authority. But you have to remember that every touch point with your audience communicates something. And if your messaging and tone isn't consistent, or if you're not clear on how you want to be perceived, you can end up confusing people. And as we all know, confused people don't buy. So clarity here is essential because consistent, clear messaging builds trust and emotional connection with your audience. And these are two of the most essential elements that you need in order to maximize sales. So without clarity, your content is in danger of feeling scattered or inconsistent. And potential clients won't know what you stand for. A really good example that always springs to mind for me is Apple. If you think about their clarity of message, simplicity, design, innovation, it's really what they're selling is a lifestyle and emotion, not just technology. The simple method I use for this is the 3 core message pillars. And how it works is you define 3 consistent themes or pillars that you want your brand to be known for. So every post and video, every email, every communication should align with one or more of those pillars. So in our example of the social media marketing coach, our brand messages focus on confidence, simplicity, and sustainability. So she consistently posts about how to turn followers into clients, how to avoid burnout by using content batching, uh, and how to get the real life results that she gets from her real clients. Right, and this creates content clarity, brand recognition, and message alignment across all of her channels. Critical clarity area number 7 is your client's results model. Right? Effectively, this is how do you get results for your clients? You need a clear roadmap for how clients move through your service or product experience. And when this is nailed, it really builds trust and gets better results, and it turns your clients into fans. Right? On the other side, though, if it's vague or if it's inconsistent, clients can feel lost and they don't stick around. Without clarity here, clients are going to receive inconsistent experience, and that adds to drop-off, confusion, and lower perceived value. So map out a clear client results roadmap, and that'll give you consistent results, higher retention, reference-worthy experiences for your clients. Right? It doesn't have to be complicated. You simply need to clarify the onboarding process, the transformation process, and the offboarding or retention. Right? We call this the 3-stage pathway method. The marketing coach in our example structured her results model into 3 stages. There's the onboarding, it comprises a welcome email, intake form, and an orientation video. There's a transformation, which is our core 6-week curriculum with live coaching calls and content reviews. And then there's the offboarding, which is the review of the results, a testimonial request, and a renewal invitation. And when she had this clarity, it really became more efficient, she got better testimonials, and easier to scale. Now, the last area I want to cover in this video is team roles and responsibilities. And it's essential as you begin to scale your business, but it's important even if you don't have a team right now. And I'll explain in a minute why that's the case. If you are working with a team, even a small one, everyone needs clarity on who does what. When roles and responsibilities are vague, you find that tasks get duplicated, or worse, they're completely missed. Right? And that leads to frustration and inefficiency and missed opportunities maybe. Clarity matters here because everyone must know their role, the KPIs, and how their work connects to the broader goals of the business. Otherwise, there'll be duplication of effort, there'll be poor accountability and frustration. Right? And people will be busy but not as effective as they should be. And if you're the sole person in your business right now, then you need to recognize that you're fulfilling a number of distinct roles. You're the entrepreneur, you're the manager, you're the technician. So successfully balancing these roles is crucial for your business to grow and thrive beyond its initial phase. There's a well-known book, The E-Myth, by Michael Gerber, that highlights that many businesses fail because owners become overly focused on the technician role, the day-to-day work, and they neglect the manager and the entrepreneurial aspects of the business. But the simplest and quickest method to get clarity on team roles and responsibilities is to create a who owns what map. Right? Just list out all the core functions of the business: marketing, sales, admin, etc. Right? And assign ownership using a RACI model. Who's responsible, who's accountable, who should be consulted, and who just needs to be kept informed. Right? In our example, Natalie handles coaching and sales, her VA manages scheduling and content repurposing, and she has a freelance designer who creates the visuals. And they use a shared Trello board so everyone knows what their weekly deliverables are. Right? Now, I promise to share a way that you can double or even treble the effectiveness of your actions in all of the areas that I've discussed. But before I do, I just wanted to encourage you to take the Prepare to Succeed assessment that I mentioned earlier. Now, if you've watched this far, then I know you'll have great action steps that you can take immediately. But there's often deeper foundational issues that are causing confusion and stress within your business. So this assessment will give you a clear view of where you're strong and where you're vulnerable with a simple traffic light scoring system. Fixing your foundation by using this assessment can make a huge difference to your long-term success and your sanity. And by the way, you can do it in about 5 to 10 minutes maximum. Find a link below the video. So take a few minutes and do it now. So going back to how you can double or treble the effectiveness of your actions, right? The first thing is to do the actions, of course, right? But then present your thinking on all of these areas to a mentor, a friend, or a colleague, or a peer, or some other trusted person, and get their feedback. Ask them to be brutally honest with you, and you be open-minded and prepared to adjust and act on the feedback. And then keep refining your thinking as you get more feedback from your prospects and your clients. And take the time to regularly review all of these areas, because clarity it's not a bonus, it's a prerequisite for scaling without chaos. And the good news is it's something that you can achieve, and you can do it step by step. If you found this video helpful, I'm honored. Please share it with someone you believe will find it helpful too. And join me in the next video. We're going to dive deeper into another foundational area. It's absolutely crucial for consistently achieving your goals, and that's commitment. And I'll share with you how to assess if you're fully committed to achieving your goals. I'll share some commitment building strategies and how to get past your V1.